Hey everyone, thanks for checking in. It's been a couple weeks since I did an update video. So this is what I picked up in the past 2 weeks for my collection of upgrading and just adding stuff I didn't have previously. Um, so first thing that I got was Life. Pretty decent science fiction movie with some horror elements. I have it on DVD. My son and I watched it probably 3 or 4 weeks ago. And I actually found the Blu-ray for like $3 at Dollar General, so I figured why not pick it up. Yeah, it was pretty cool. All right, next thing I got was Hostel. I do have the DVD. I have all three of them on DVD. And this is the only one that I really, really enjoyed, especially when it came out. It was, kind of that shock horror, torture. But yeah, upgrade to Blu-ray. I figured why not. It was like $5, so. And I got High Tension, upgrade my DVD. Now, when I first saw this movie, it was quite a shock, especially the ending. If you haven't seen it, I'm not going to spoil it for you, but this is one of those movies that actually gave me anxiety kind of watching it. It's one of those, it doesn't let up once it starts. Starts off a little bit slow, but once it goes full tilt. Yeah, if you haven't seen this, give it a watch. Like I said, it's got a shocking ending, and it is quite the roller coaster ride. All right, I got a copy of My Bloody Valentine. This is the 2009, I believe it came out, remake with Jensen Ackles. I have the original Scream Factory release on Blu-ray, and I didn't have the remake on Blu-ray. I only had it on DVD for the 3D version, which if you don't have the glasses or want to watch it in 3D, it's really not that great. So I figured I'd upgrade that. Well, it's cheap enough. Plus, it's got the slipcover, which is kind of a bonus. Now, this is one that I was really happy to pick up, The Relic. I have this on DVD as well, but the DVD quality isn't great. It's a great creature feature from the mid-90s. If you haven't seen it, you like creature features, this is one to check out. I actually watched it on YouTube a couple weeks ago, and that quality wasn't great either. The Blu-ray is better quality. It is still very dark. So I'm hoping in the future we can get a 4K release of this, because the dark tones would look really good, and all the black would look really good on 4K. Kind of like The Descent. The Descent, I haven't seen the 4K, but I've heard a lot of people talk about it, how it is a dark movie in general, but they say the transfer is excellent, especially with all the black, all the pitch blacks. So, but this was always a good creature feature, and I always enjoyed it. If you haven't seen it, give it a look. Like I said, you can watch it on YouTube, the full video. This is one I have not seen. Raw Meats, aka Deathline. I've been eyeing this one for a little bit. I don't know a whole lot about it, other than it has Donald Pleasance and Christopher Lee. Obviously, I read the synopsis and stuff, and it sounds like it's a pretty cool concept. I didn't pull the trigger on this one. Like I said, I've been eyeing it for a little while and hemming and hawing whether I was going to buy it or not, because I don't like to do a lot of blind buys and get it expensive. So I guess what really got me to pick this one up was it's the same writer and director as Dead and Buried. If you've never seen that, that's a really good movie. I didn't see that until probably 3 or 4 weeks ago. I streamed it, because I heard some other people talk about it and recommended it, and so I figured I'd watch it on streaming, and I really enjoyed it. And this is the same writer director as Dead and Buried. So if you've never seen that movie, go and watch that. That was a good one too. But I like these Blue Underground releases. They always have some cool stuff. like Zombie, City of the Living Dead. Suspiria is another good one. All right, and I picked up a copy of 13 Ghosts. This was always a really fun movie. I remember being in high school just before graduating and going to see this in theaters. I enjoyed it. It's a really good remake of the original, which I've seen once, and that was a very long time ago. But the almost dropped my phone. The actual picture quality on this Blu-ray was really good too. I was really happy with that. Watched it last night. So 13 Ghosts, it's always a fun time. Plus, they're coming out with the series, so that should be interesting. Let's check that out. And this one I'm excited to get, Night of the Comet. Now, I almost picked this up on 4K when I initially started upgrading my collection. I used to be a huge physical media collector. Then probably 10 years ago, I kind of stopped and just started streaming stuff because, young kids at the time, and everything's super expensive when you have young kids. And I didn't really care for it that much. Care for collecting as much as I did. So, but now the kids are a little bit older. I have more free time. And I figured, why not? So, like I said, I almost picked up the 4K, but I didn't. And when I went back for it, initially it was gone. And I kind of forgot about it until I saw the Blu-ray for like $8. So I haven't seen this in a very, very long time. I don't even remember if I've seen the whole thing. But, post-apocalyptic zombie movie. So I'll be excited to delve into that and revisit that. What else? Big Stephen King fan, so I'd pick up Sleepwalkers. Now, I know this is not a lot of people like this movie, so, it is kind of a unique Stephen King movie, which a lot of his stuff really is. He's way out there, but I had this on DVD and found the Blu-ray. Plus, I love the cover art on this. The cover art really stands out. But yeah, it's different. The picture quality on this Blu-ray, I watched it the other day. It's not the best that Scream Factory has done, but it is certainly an upgrade from the DVD. So if you have the DVD and you're a big, Stephen King fan and you enjoy this movie, I would suggest getting the Blu-ray. Yeah, it was a fun movie. I enjoy it. Another Stephen King title, classic, Cat's Eye. Now, I always loved this movie as a kid, especially the last segment with the troll. But as I got older and watched it more and more into my adulthood, I never really realized how scary, like, the first segment, Quitters Incorporated or Quitters Inc., really was, like, psychologically. So this is like an anthology kind of movie. It's the story of, the lives of these people this cat comes across and what everybody's going through. And if you've never seen it, I suggest it highly. And the last Blu-ray that I have one more 4K that I picked up. So I already have The Return of the Living Dead. I have it on 4K. I have it on DVD. I didn't have it on Blu-ray, and I wasn't looking to pick it up on Blu-ray, but yeah, for $10, $11, I found this really cool steelbook. Kind of the Day of the Dead kind of themed. So yeah, I wasn't going to leave that behind. So now I'm the proud owner of a Blu-ray steelbook of Return of the Living Dead. Plus, it's one of the funnest vampire. It's one of the funnest zombie movies. It never goes, it never gets old. One of those movies you could return to, and every time you watch it, it's just fun. Just straight up fun. Never disappoints. Yeah, so that's the last Blu-ray, and I did get one 4K, like I just mentioned. Now, and I'm not... So, yeah. So, I'm kind of a snob when it comes to newer stuff. I'm kind of stuck in my ways when it comes to newer movies. versus older movies. I really like the older stuff. I have a lot of nostalgia for the older stuff, and I just my personal opinion is like some of the newer stuff just isn't as fun to watch as the older stuff is. The stuff that I grew up with. Maybe I was spoiled. I went through, there's a lot of great movies from my childhood that stand out. That I honestly I don't think they'll ever be beaten. Um, but I bought this on a whim because I heard some good things about it, and it's a body horror, which I'm a huge fan of body horror. So I actually gave this a watch, and I enjoyed it. It wasn't bad. It had left a little bit to be desired. Like I think they could have gone into more of the lore of, you know, what they were going through or how it all began. Um, but like I don't want to ruin it for anybody that's not seen it. But if you like body horror, I suggest watching this. Um, give it a shot. Like I said, I don't like a lot of the newer stuff. I have a hard time. For example, I couldn't get through, and people give me crap about this all the time, but I didn't enjoy Evil Dead Rise. I couldn't get through the first half of it. The Exorcist Believers, I didn't enjoy that really either. But maybe it's one of those things, time and mood. Maybe at a different time, give them another rewatch. Maybe I'll enjoy it, get into it a little bit more. But like I said, I struggle with the newer horror stuff, and I'm trying to get out of that and branch out and be more willing to give the newer stuff more of an opportunity. But that's why I like collecting all the old stuff, because that's what I grew up with. I sprinkle some new stuff in here and there, like The Substance I thought was a really good body horror movie. I enjoyed that one. I watched Weapons last week. I think it was on HBO Max, and that one wasn't bad. I enjoyed that too. But it has to really, really connect with me to really enjoy it, and I'm trying to be more open to some of these movies. I'll be such an old man about stuff, and just what I like, and try to branch out. That's why a lot of the stuff that I collect, and it's not everybody's cup of tea. Like The Howling 2, I really enjoy, and that's a bizarre movie. Humanoids from the Deep, which is a great movie. There's a lot of good stuff that I personally like that, not everybody else would like that likes horror movies, But yeah, this was a pretty fun watch. I'd watch it again. But it was on sale for like $23, so I decided to get it on a whim because, like I said, I heard good things about it, and give it a shot. So I'm trying to branch out and explore more of the modern day horror instead of just living in my own little horror bubble from the past. But there are a lot of good things in the past too that I haven't seen yet. So yeah, just trying to keep an open mind. But that's really all I have for movies. And I did pick up this one other item, and I don't know why I picked it up, but it is a David Hasselhoff Sharknado bobblehead. And I laughed when I first saw it because I didn't know about this. And Sharknado being a sci-fi horror movie, really cheesy, but they're kind of fun. I've seen a couple of them. Obviously, I'm not going to write home about them, but you know what you're getting into when you hear the name Sharknado. It's kind of like those old '90s made-for-TV movies that like King Cobra and Komodo. But some of those were really fun, and Sharknado was actually pretty fun too. So I really didn't realize that I needed a David Hasselhoff bobblehead from the movie Sharknado, but I got it for $5. So it'll sit on the shelf with my other horror stuff. Up there with my Leatherface Living Dead doll and all that stuff. So yeah, I thought that was kind of funny. But yeah, I guess that's all I have for this update. All right, guys. Thanks for checking it out. Take care.